Multiple things can be true at the same time. Sure, last week the Commanders got their doors blown off by the Buffalo Bills. But at the same time, it's only week 4. The NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint. And Washington's got a chance, to get back in the win column against Philly. Let's have a podcast. Obviously, going up against the Eagles, this is a formidable team. They're the defending NFC champs. They could have won the Super Bowl. I mean, they are loaded offensively, defensively. What they do best, despite how much people want to tell you it's Hurts going to A.J. Brown, what they do best is running the football. They have arguably the best offensive line in football. I'll let the big man weigh in on that in a minute. But here's what's incredibly dangerous. They have the best short yardage game in the NFL, and specifically, they have the best short yardage play in the NFL. While I kind of like the brotherly shove nickname, most folks know the quarterback sneak that they run in short yardage situations where Jalen Hurts plows forward and gets pushed from behind as the tush push. I asked Jack Del Rio his thoughts on the play.
Well, it's not being officiated as illegal, so we just have to prepare for it. I mean, I would personally like to see it eliminated, not just because they run it better than anybody, although they do run it better than anybody, but I don't think that's a football play. I think it's a nice rugby play, and it's not what we're looking for in football. But until it's outlawed, we'll prepare for it and get ready to do our best to stop it.
All right, JDR and most of the defensive players I've talked to say they don't think it should be a football play. It's a rugby play. You got to outlaw it. They're not going to outlaw it, and they're certainly not going to outlaw it by Sunday at 1 o'clock. This is a huge test for the Commanders' defensive line, big man. Let's start with this. Do you think the Eagles have the best O-line in the NFL?
It's certainly amongst the top 3, and the way that they've run the ball so far this season probably puts them close to the top. You combine that with how effective Jalen Hurts is when he does get pressure, breaking contain, and making moves with his legs or with his arm.
Even on design runs, dude.
It's so impressive. And the tush-push thing is every team in the NFL has the opportunity to run this play. They don't. Part of the reason is because Jalen Hurts is so dang strong, and their middle of their offensive line is so good. Jason Kelsey's one of the best centers in football. He's been one of the best centers in football for a while.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's Hall of Fame.
I mean, everyone wants to talk about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. DeAndre Swift and Jason Kelsey might be the more impactful NFL duo there.
I was really hoping we would get through this without a Taylor Swift joke. When you were at your best, so 18, 19-year-old Mitch Tischler, what were you squatting?
Just under 500 pounds.
Jalen Hurts is a quarterback, and he squats over 6 bills. I mean, it's like, why doesn't everybody run the tush push? Because that dude squats 600. And people just want to ignore that. Like, that's not part of it. Oh, by the way, they have a Hall of Fame center. Like, there is a confluence of events there that makes that play unstoppable beyond just the guy from behind him shoving. Anyway.
How many C's on the thick scale? A million of them. All of them. He gets all the C's. So,
obviously, the Eagles can run the game. DeAndre Swift has more rush yards in 2 games than I think the Commanders do in 3. So, think about that. Obviously, they are a dangerous offense. A.J. Brown can hurt you. Devontae Smith has hurt Washington. Dallas Goedert. They have horses all over the place here. What is your path to slowing down? Here's the wildest thing. The Eagles are 3-0 with a plus 25 or plus 26 point differential. I don't even think they're playing that well yet. And they're just rolling people. What is the path to slowing down the Eagles offensively? We know what Washington needs to do. They need better quarterback play and maybe a little more balance between the run and their pass attack. What does the defense for Washington need to do to slow down the Kelly Green?
To me, it's not allowing big plays. That's been the biggest thing that the Eagles have done to the Commanders over the years, dating back to when Deshaun Jackson was there, was just their fast receivers, their big receivers, just straight beating them over the top. And that seems to happen every year that they're out there. The Eagles run the ball extremely well. The Eagles run the ball extremely well against teams not named the Washington Commanders. In the 5 games that Jalen Hurts has been there, the Eagles have only broken 100 yards rushing once. But my point being that the front 4, the vaunted front 4, has generally done a good job, despite the fact that the Eagles' O-line is as good as it is. And so to me, the bigger point is going to be not letting Devonta Smith get over the top, not letting A.J. Brown get over the top. We saw it last year too many times in the 2 games, those 2 guys getting 30-plus yard plays downfield, scoring long touchdowns, beating the safeties and corners. To me, that's going to be the biggest thing. They got to concentrate and not let DeAndre Swift go nuts in the run game. But I think you can leave that mostly to the front four with a little help from the linebackers. But it's going to be about that secondary not getting lost in coverage and sticking on their cues and communicating well.
They need a great game from their linebackers, and that's probably not their strength, I think we can safely say. I also think, though, not that Hurts and Josh Allen are the same quarterback. They're different, but they both are really mobile guys. Now, Allen will run you over a little bit more than Hurts will run around you when they're actually, on the move. But Washington did a good job of pressuring Allen. They just never got him down. If it requires less of a rush and more of a contain on the edges and then let that disruption come from the interior, I don't know how you do it, but I think they've got to create negative plays defensively. And Hurts has been spraying it a bit for him. Like, I think interceptions are in play here. You saw Kendall Fuller got one off Josh Allen last week. I think you got to try. They talked all offseason about they like their defense to go to the next level. They've got to be able to create takeaways. I think that's got to be a focus this week. And so, yeah, you want to play it smart, not get beat deep. But I think try to contain Hurts more than just necessarily pressure him all the time and cover and see if you can get the ball a few times.